Are you ready for your close-up? Yeah? Ready to go? Let's go. Hi, my name is Kay, and this is my Cave of Possibilities. I have yarny nitty stuff to the left of me, cross-stitch to the right, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. We have survived the accounting craziness that is July. Oh my goodness, not even July. See, it was crazy. I can't remember what month it is. January. And now it's February, and we're closing January, which is the last super crazy of the thing. They've given us a couple of extra days since Central Accounting is still trying to work on a couple of extra things. Hi. Can you sit on the chair? You're in the way. No? All right. Anyway, so we're doing good all around, I feel. Hopefully things will continue to look up. It's great. Stitching, because that's what you're here for. That's what I do. It has been a very, you're gonna miss, well, we dumped the pile on the floor, just a sec. Pile successfully retrieved from the floor. Maybe we should turn the camera over here so you get the more view of Miss Princess, who's purring away over here. She knows you're all here just to see her. Stitching. January. I have been stitching stuff for, let's start again. So I have been stitching a lot of February themed stuff, well, Valentine's themed stuff during January. And the first thing I finished was the Primrose Cottage freebie from last January, Be My Valentine. Here it is. And once again, I've forgotten to grab my board because I don't know why that's so hard for me to remember, but we'll just hold it up here like this. This is a 32 count white opalescent linen, and I happen to have purchased the kit, so I just used it with the called for colors that were provided in the kit. It's really quite pale. I don't like how pale it is. I think if I had been paying attention, I would have brightened those up, chosen a more saturated color for them. I think they turned out, all in all, it turned out just fine. I think that'll be okay. One of these days, I might get around to having it finished. I don't finish anything. Let's see. The next thing I worked on and finished is the Happy Valentine's Day pillow. This came out of the Sip and Stitch box. And here it is. And I stitched this on a 32 count pale purple by the name of Wisteria. This is a red thicket fabric. I stitched Woolamina on this last year, and so this is the other leftover chunk from that 32 count, I think I said, with the called for colors. Since I received them in the Sip and Stitch, I went ahead and used them, and I accidentally messed up the two blues. So there, where it's dark blue, it should be light blue, and where it's light blue, it should be dark blue. But in my defense, the symbols in the pattern were a little mixed up because the lighter symbol was for the dark blue and the darker symbol was for the light blue. So, but the colors for the reds, light, medium, dark, matched the colors for the flosses they wanted. So the light was the light, the medium was the medium, the dark is the dark. So I was just using my visual cues. It's not my fault. They set a trap for me. Anyway, this turned out cute as well. Very, very cute. I know last week I complained, sadly, mourned the fact that the cute little mug wasn't really working, and Primrose Cottage did post a video on what you're supposed to do to fix it. Apparently, on the outside of the straw, it has this little bit that you can slide off, supposedly to clean it. I don't understand why you need a bit to slide off that still goes back on the straw. But yeah, that would cause an air leak, and even when it's pushed all the way down, mine still leaks a little bit. It's annoying and it's a poor design. So I'm talking to you, all you manufacturers of drinking vessels with a straw bit and a silicone thing that goes over some other thing. Bad design. Fix it. Let's see. Then the last thing I worked on is Miss Valentine from Memorabilia. I borrowed the pattern from Stasha at Cross Stitch and Crime, Crime and Stitch, Stitch and Crime. I'll link her below. She is a lot of fun. She reports on the criminal goings-on, mostly here in the Intermountain West. So, you know, mostly it's women murdering their husbands, with the occasional husband murdering the wife. It's just weird. Stop the murdering, guys. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to fix anything, so knock it off. Right, Miss Valentine. So I have started on her. I thought, excuse me, when I was looking at the called for fabrics, I thought that the variegation for the Classic Colorworks, was too distinct. And you can see here that sure it does stripe, but I didn't want mine to be as stripy, and so I pulled the recommended DMCs and lined them out. And some were a good match and some were not a good match. And so I have my DMC floss card. It's over there, out of reach. And so I've been matching things up and trying to think about it. And so what I did, especially in this pink part, is I did one strand of the Color and Cotton, the Classic Colorworks, and one strand of the DMC, thinking that would smooth out the variegation. You know, it wouldn't smooth, and it does, because as you can see, there's practically no variegation to see there in the pinks. I shouldn't have even bothered. I stitched all that with a blended needle for no reason whatsoever. Sometimes, you guys, as I said to one of the groups of stitchers, I don't know what I was thinking. I obviously was not in my right mind, nor my left. Because who does that voluntarily? I don't know. But she's coming along pretty good. As you can see, I've got the skin in on her feet. The shoes are a Krennic. I eyeballed a couple of Petite Treasure braid from Rainbow Gallery. I'm not sure if that color is going to work because it's also used here in the flower bits, and so I need to do some more looking at the sheet and pulling colors to decide if I'm going to use the Petite Treasure braid that I bought, or if I'm going to swap it out for something else. I don't know. Memory card full. I had totally forgotten to erase, well, everything from 2024 and 2025 off of the memory card. So it's no surprise that it's full. So we made sure to move a couple things from the memory card onto the computer, well, actually onto the external drive where all of this stuff lives, and clear enough stuff off that I hope we can get through the rest of this. I don't have a lot to say, but you never know. I was talking about the fabric that I used is an Atomic Ranch 32 count, and it is Purple Fizz, something Fizz. I think purple was the color descriptor on that one. So here we are. She's not looking bad. She's going to be an experiment of what do I like and what do I want to do, and pulling a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of something else, I'm pretty sure. So there is the last thing that I've been stitching on. No new progress on Celtic Noel. I keep thinking that I'll get back to her, but then on Sunday I'm like, I'm having too much stuff, too much fun. stitching on the Valentine stuff. I don't want to do that. And then nothing new on the Colors of Water, the project for Robin. One of the Mondays, it was a home basketball game for basketball. I almost said for football. And that's going to be an interesting home basketball game with the football team playing. Who knows how that's going to go. Anyway, and one of my elderly aunts absolutely loves BYU basketball, and so sometimes I'll go with her. So that Monday was one of the Mondays when I went with her. And then the other Monday, I was doing research on all sorts of transit and travel, public transit in the Netherlands. I'm going on a knitting cruise in June, and Mom and I, and we're going with a bunch of ladies from our knit group, and we are flying into Amsterdam a couple days early to see the sights and do the touristy things, but the ship is leaving from Rotterdam. So we've been doing some research about how to get from Amsterdam to Rotterdam, the least hassle. I think the least hassle is a private car, but that's the most expensive. But we've ascertained that we can take the train from Amsterdam Central down to Rotterdam Central, and I think I've seen where there is a metro that goes from Rotterdam Central to like the head of the block where the cruise terminal is. And so there's that. We've also learned that a taxi from Rotterdam Central to the cruise port is about 45, 60 euro, depending upon time of day, if there's surge pricing, all that good stuff. So I've been doing a lot of research on hotels, a lot of research on what to do, a lot of research on who's got the best stroopwafel, because you gotta have the stroopwafel. It's gotta be done. Anyway, so that's a lot of research has been what I've been doing, looking at stuff, making notes. Somehow I ended up as the travel coordinator for a little group of 6. Our knit group leader is taking all of her daughters, so they're kind of traveling as one group. 2 other ladies are going with their husbands, and they're kind of a mini group. And then there's 6 of us who are not going with husbands, kind of, going with a friend sort of thing. So somehow by default I've become the travel planner for those 6. In March, the thing that takes everybody out of the house on the Tuesday evenings when I'd record this so I can release it Wednesday morning, that thing's going to be in hiatus for a couple weeks. So I was wondering if you all would be interested in seeing a 2025 finish parade, even though it'll be like 3 months in. And I think that might be good because about 2 weeks into Whip Parade-a-Palooza, I'm tired of whip parades. And so I really think y'all should spread them out. If your channel name starts with A or B, you get January. C and D gets February, and so on and so forth. Maybe our X's and our Q's, maybe our I's and J's can go together into, a 3-month group. But that's a lot of whip parades, my friends, and I cannot watch them all because there are so many, but I can't watch them all. And then I'll be really, really behind. There's already like 100 of you in my queue of my watch later queue, and I need to see all of my friends. So, so that's a random aside. If you'd like to see a finish parade in March, let me know, because I can film that and time it to push later. Speaking of my friends, y'all need to wander over and check out the Ogden Stitcher. Actually, there's no V in the front, just Ogden Stitcher. She's one of the gals who is part of the Northern Utah little quilty group, stitchy group that I sometimes get to go visit with. And she's a cute... English is not my first language, it's my only language. She's a hoot. She can be take no prisoners, saucy, spicy. She's just fun. She's really, really fun. So I'll link her below. You go watch her. I'll link Red Thicket Fabric. Go over there and see what Summer is up to. I'm so looking forward to the 21st. There is a wee Valentine's Day party happening. we're over the sign-up period, so sorry you can't come. But I get to see Summer there, maybe buy some more fabrics. Oh, speaking randomly of fabrics, I've been thinking of how to organize my fabrics because the current dump it all in a box is not working very well because it's a lot of stuff and kind of hard to flip through. So I've seen some people who hang them on up in a closet on like pant hangers or boot hangers, or even purchase the Ziploc bags that have the little hangery bit on them. And in my closet I have a couple bookcases, so the low stuff, you know, is filled up, but there's still quite a bit of space between the hanging rod and the top of the bookshelf and the stuff that I have piled on the bookshelf. So I'm thinking that might be a solution. So I ordered a pack of the plastic hanging bags to try in the closet. So I feel like I would rather have them in plastic than just be open air, because the kitty's litter box is behind there and all the yarn is in plastic. So hopefully it's not absorbing kitty litter smells, because sometimes your box is stinky even though it's a robot and it rolls over every 3 minutes after you use it. Stinky box, stinky cat. Anyway, she's gonna kill me for being mean to her like that. Wrapped in plastic, repel the smells. I live in a dry environment, so I'm not too worried about mildew or mold. So there's that. All right, I think we got it all. Did we get it all? I hope you guys are doing okay. For those of you who got just snowmageddon out to the east of me, hope you're digging out. It's been about a week now, hasn't it? I lose track of the days and when stuff happens. Who knows anymore? I hope you're not buried under the snow. We have not got miserable precipitation this winter, so it is going to be a very dry, super drought summer. So who knows if we'll have enough water to drink? We shall see. All right, you guys. I love you. Hang in there. We can do this. Yeah, one step forward, one step up. Hugs and stitches, everybody. Bye.